Hai, Assalamualaikum. So, hari ni kita nak proceed kepada subtopik 1.4 protein. Okey, jom kita start. Alright, so this is the my map yang template yang saya berikan pada kamu. Okay, the same template. Okay, so for protein, it is consists of element carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, and also nitrogen. And in addition, some of the amino acid, some of the protein may also have sulfur and phosphorus. So very important to know that the protein, the monomer is called as amino acid. So macam kita belajar karbohidrat, contohnya adalah starch, monomer, maksudnya molekul asas yang membinanya adalah alpha glucose. And then kita belajar lipid, lipid monomernya adalah glycerol dan juga fatty acid. But for protein, the monomer is called as amino acid. And this is the basic structure of amino acid, which has three functional group, the amino group NH2, and then the side chain, this R, okay, that attached to the second carbon, and then the carboxyl group C double bond O OH. Okay, for this R group is not that similar to the R group in lipid, because in lipid the R group is also called hydrocarbon chain because it only has carbon and hydrogen. But in protein dia boleh ada sulfur, boleh ada phosphorus. Okay, jadi that's why kita tak panggil R ini sebagai hydrocarbon chain. Sebaiknya kita namakan dia sebagai side chain. Okay, this side chain is very important to give the types, okay, to classify the types of amino acid because jenis amino acid itu akan ditentukan oleh side chain ini. If the side chain have hydrophilic polar ataupun dekat side chain ni ada, dia menunjukkan ada polar group, so amino acid ni is placed under polar amino acid. If the side chain has hydrophobic non-polar, so dia dinamakan sebagai non-polar amino acid. If the side chain has positive charge, so the amino acid is basic. Then if the side chain has negative charge, so the amino acid is acidic. So jom kita tengok. Okay, contoh macam ni lah. Polar kita boleh nampak. Semua dekat side chain dia ni polar. Ada OH means dia ada slightly charge. Okay, ada partial charge. So apa yang partial charge tu maksudnya dia polar. Okay, so kita boleh tengok pula kalau non-polar amino acid kita boleh nampak. Dia hanya terdiri daripada seolah-olah hanya hydrocarbon sahaja. Tak ada slightly tak ada slightly charge atau partial charge. Tak boleh, tak ada. So itu adalah non-polar. Dan kita tengok acidic pula. Okay, if the side chain have negative charge, dia adalah acidic. Tapi if you can found the positive ion in the side chain, so the amino acid is basic amino acid. Side chain jangan duk pula tengok amino group dengan carboxyl group ni. Kita fokus pada side chain. Alright, so the next thing is, okay, the most important is you know how to show formation of dipeptide. Okay, so maksudnya ini yang ketiga. Kamu dah buat dah formation of maltose, formation of triglyceride. So sekarang kita nak buat pula formation of dipeptide. So what is dipeptide? Dipeptide is two amino acid that join together by the bond called peptide bond. It is formed through process called condensation. So inilah rupa reactionnya. Okay, tapi tak apa, jom kita buat sama-sama. Okay, jom kita buat sama-sama. Okay, mana buku kamu? Ambil. Okay, so saya dah kata tadi formation of dipeptide. So dipeptide consists of two amino acid. So amino acid plus amino acid, jadilah dipeptide. So lukis amino acid 1. Macam mana rupa amino acid? Tadi dah ajar dah. Lukis backbone dulu, N, C, this N connect with hydrogen, this C hydrogen, and then the side chain, this is C for carboxyl group, C double bond O, OH. And then the second amino acid sama, N, H, and then C double bond O, OH. Okay, sekejap, kita edit. Tergelincir tadi, tak cantik. Okay, so O, OH. Alright. And then sini is the side chain. Okay. So tengok kat sini we have already two amino acid. And then saya dah kata involve condensation. So draw arrow here and label with condensation. So condensation is process remove water molecule. Boleh tak kita identify where the water is being removed? Senang saja. Water is being removed by the carboxyl group for amino acid 1 and then the hydrogen atom from the amino group of amino acid 2. Boleh faham? Yang terlibat adalah hydroxyl group dari carboxyl group amino acid 1 dan hidrogen dari amino group dan amino acid 2. Jadi kita pun circle sahaja. Dapatlah kat sini tuliskan remove H2O. So connectkan saja this carbon lost the hydroxyl, this nitrogen lost the hydrogen. Both are unstable, so they make a bond. So sambungkan sahaja and H, CHR, C double bond O, dia dah tak stable, so dia akan forming bond with nitrogen, hydrogen C double bond O pula, C, H. Okay, this C is with H, and then the CR, C double bond O, OH. Okay, then don't forget plus H2O. So here is our structure dipeptide. So lengkap ke dia? Structure ni dah lengkap tapi labeling tak cukup. Jadi kamu mesti buat box macam ni and then pointkan ini sebagai peptide bond. Okay, so kalau ini yang kamu boleh buat, kamu boleh dapat markah penuh 4/4, 3/3, semua tu milik kamu. Tengok betul-betul two amino acid that react together by process called condensation, removing water molecule occur, involve carboxyl group and amino group. Okay, so the water removed, then they are joined together by the bond called peptide bond, with which this process also produce one water molecule. Okay. If the process is hydrolysis, means the breakdown of dipeptide, tak ada masalah because that is a reverse process sahaja. So show the dipeptide structure mixed with one water molecule by adding of one water molecule, and then the arrow you must label with hydrolysis. So the process will produce two molecule of amino acid. Okay. Next, okay, we talk about the level of protein structure. Level of protein, okay, has 4 level protein. Okay, protein ni ada 4 jenis aras. Okay, berdasarkan dia punya structure, dia ada primary structure, secondary structure, tertiary structure, quaternary structure. Okay, primary structure is a basic structure which is the polypeptide is in linear chain. So saya dah lukis kat sini polypeptide. Apa itu polypeptide? Polypeptide is a chain that consists of more than 2 ataupun kita kata banyak amino acid, a lot of amino acid that join together by peptide bond. So dia akan membentuk rantaian amino acid, they join together and they may form rantaian, they may form a chain. So that called as polypeptide. So in primary structure, since the polypeptide linear, so the bond present is only peptide bond. The example of primary structure is the glucagon and lysozyme. Glucagon is hormone, lysozyme is the enzyme used to destroy the bacteria. Okay, and then for the secondary structure, what is secondary structure? The secondary structure is the structure where this primary structure is coiled or folded. If this linear polypeptide coil, dia bergulung. So bila dia bergulung, dia akan membentuk alpha helix. But if this primary structure folded, dia berlipat-lipat, they may form beta pleated sheet. So ingat, secondary structure dia ada 2 structure yang berbeza. If the polypeptide is in coil form, bentuk bergulung macam ni, it is called as alpha helix. If the polypeptide is in folded form macam ni, berlipat-lipat, so we call it as beta pleated sheet. Okay, so this, to maintain this kind of structure, they may has another one bond to maintain. The structure is hydrogen bond. Hydrogen bond. Hydrogen bond ni terbentuk di mana? Hydrogen bond ni kita tengok di sini. Okay, mari saya tunjukkan. Nampak tak? Di antara hydrogen of the amino group and the oxygen from the carboxyl group. Nampak tak? So kita nampak di sini. Saya besarkan ya. Okay. Nampak? Kat sini. Between the hydrogen from the amino group and the oxygen from carboxyl group. So di situ terhasilnya hydrogen bond. Okay. Okay, next, apa yang penting lagi untuk kamu tahu? Okay, kita nak tengok pula, ini example-nya for alpha helix as keratin that can found in our nail, our hair, and for beta pleated, this is found in protein seed. for spider. Tertiary structure is the secondary structure, which is alpha helix and beta peptide dorang combine. So maksudnya the polypeptide chain is coiled and folded at the same time. Dia pada masa tu dia bergulung dan berlipat-lipat, bergumpal dan berlipat-lipat pada masa yang sama. So dia akan membentuk a spherical shape that called as globular shape. So dia bila berlipat, bergumpal, dia akan jadi macam gumpalan benang. So dia akan jadi membulat. So itu kita panggil sebagai globular. Dalam bentuk shape globular itu, levelnya adalah tertiary structure. And to maintain that kind of shape, dia mesti ada excessive bond. Okay, apa yang bond dia kena ada? Kamu boleh nampak dekat sini. Okay, dia ada 5 bond lagi. Selain daripada hydrogen bond, ada juga ionic bond. Okay, ada juga disulfide bridge, ada hydrophobic interaction which is hydrophobic interaction itself, and van der Waals interaction. So this bond is made atau is formed by the interaction between the side chain. The R group tadi tu, R group bertemu R group, so dia akan boleh membentuk bond-bond ini. Okay. So, this one, tertiary structure, example is enzyme, hormone. Next, kita tengok quaternary structure. Quaternary structure is 2 or more polypeptide that chain joined to form a single function molecule. Yes, untuk ini, bila ada 2 atau lebih polypeptide chain yang dia join together and make a single function, itu kita panggil quaternary protein. For example, here is the hemoglobin. Tengok structure hemoglobin. You can see that hemoglobin consists of 4 polypeptide. 1, 2, 3, 4. So these 4 polypeptide join together forming the same function. So they call as quaternary structure lah. Same goes to this collagen. Dia ada 3 polypeptide chain. Jadi dia adalah quaternary. Alright guys, so last part, not that last lah, okay. Untuk protein, kita tengok class of protein according to its structure. So protein has 3 class according to its structure, means dia punya appearance. If the appearance, the polypeptide is straight, okay. So it is long fibers, so it got as fibrous protein. Example is keratin, collagen. Tu sebablah orang akan ambil collagen untuk menegangkan, sebab collagen ni dia adalah jenis yang straight, dia jenis yang long. Maksudnya dia, kamu faham kan? So dia punya impact tu adalah untuk memberi kesan ketegangan. Okay, and then the function is for structural function and mechanical support. For globular protein is the protein which the shape is spherical, bentuk bola, bentuk bulat. So ini adalah example is enzyme and hormone. Involved in metabolic chemical, since enzyme, hormone, so the function of a globular protein, involved in metabolic reaction and also chemical process. Same goes to conjugated protein. Okay, conjugated protein is a protein which mixed with non-protein element. So kamu boleh nampak conjugated protein, yes, bentuk dia globular, bentuk bulat, tapi it is with non-protein element. Example is hemoglobin. Okay, so conjugated protein, the function also involved in metabolic and chemical reaction. So the last part is the factor cause denaturation of enzyme. What is denaturation? Enzyme lost its conformation. Maksudnya enzim tu akan hilang bentuk dia due to breakdown of bond that maintain its structure. For example, kalau secondary structure, the bond is maintained by hydrogen bond. So when the hydrogen bond is break, means the protein is denatured. Tertiary structure, quaternary structure, it is the structure is held by hydrogen bond, ionic bond, hydrophobic interaction, van der Waals interaction, disulfide bridge. When this excessive bond is break, so the protein is called as denatured because it lost its conformation, so it will lost its function. Bila dia hilang rupa bentuk dia, so dia tak boleh dah nak buat dia punya fungsi. Jadi, the factor that cause protein to be denatured is 2. First is extreme pH condition. Change in pH, change attraction between group inside chain. So contohnya, kalau katakan kita ada amino acid acidic, tiba-tiba kamu letak amino acid acidic tu tadi dalam basic solution. So kat situ akan berlaku interaction antara side chain tu dengan solution yang kamu letak. So dia tak boleh nak hold dia punya structure asal. So dia akan mengalami reaction and finally dia akan lost its original conformation. So it cannot undergo its function. Dia tak boleh carry out dah dia punya function. And the second factor is extreme temperature. And you know this extreme temperature, it can break the hydrogen bond. So bila dah terbreak bond-bond ini, apa yang jadi? Loss of formation and finally loss function. So that we call as denaturation. So I think that's all for protein. See you in the next video. Bye.